Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Grimm here today, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Gil Guides in general. But before that, let's check our sales. Now, yesterday, I was talking about always be selling in regards to, the video before always be selling, where it's like you gotta have something up for sale. It's a good strategy, it's a strong strategy, and the more you have up for sale on the marketplace, the better off you'll be. But don't just rely on the marketplace. There are other strategies to make Gil, like doing all of your dungeons every single day, doing your roulettes, your fates, challenge log, all bunch of different things that will help you make a lot of Gil in the long term. It's about a constant, steady stream, and that is a fantastic strategy to have. And it's important to have strategies as opposed to just one simple thing you do over and over again. But we'll get to that. Before then, let's see what we made. First off, we sold some of those things that we gathered up, the Oasis couch, the red carpets. I made some glamour prisms that those sold. The Craftsman Command, finally, those sold. Archeo Skin, Jack Coat of Gathering, Bowl of Odin. So we should have a good pile, and yes we do. 351,738 Gil. We've broken 9 million Gil. Fantastic. Now, let's see what Sanguinia brought us. View our sale history. The Gishel Greens, I bought those from a vendor, I sold those, and most of those sold. Perfect. Fantastic. Some of our miscellaneous stuff sold. Even better. Fantastic. Perfect. Some more of the Glamour Prism sold. The Levin Light Seeds, those sold. Copper Ingot. Minium. Yeah, we did really good. We did alright. How much Gil did we get? 113,678. So, right now we are sitting at 9,307,385 Gil. Wonderful. So like I said, the strategy of always be selling something pays off. It will always pay off. Not only sell what you get from the markets, but also do your dailies, do your roulettes. Now, Gil Guides can be useful, but a lot of the times they can suck. And that's the point of this video, so let's go in and talk about why. First off, Gil Guides aren't always good because sometimes the information in them becomes outdated and useless. Some items that are doing really well in Heaven's Ward aren't doing very good now, and that's important to keep in mind while looking up videos on making Gil. Focus on the ones that talk more about strategy and techniques rather than which item is selling for how much. And that leads me into the next reason, where every server is different. An item that sells for 50,000 on one server might make you around 5,000 on another. It all depends on what each server's market looks like. You gotta do your own research and find out what your own market is like rather than depend on someone telling you what to sell and for how much, because sometimes the market turns. The markets are constantly changing and moving around. An item that sold well last week or even yesterday, it might stop moving entirely for weeks on end, and all of a sudden if you put all your chips on the table using that one item, you're in a bit of trouble because it's not selling. At best you can drop the price and pawn it off on the cheap, but you always got to keep in mind that things can change literally overnight. So you got to have a backup plan as well as, using other strategies if it kind of stops working for you. Now, another thing I see looking up on YouTube a bunch of Gil guides is you gotta watch out for any Gil guide videos that have clickbait titles or say, you can earn 500,000 an hour or something like that, because sometimes it does work, sometimes their market is really good and they really can make that much, but sometimes when you try it, you're kind of left high and dry because you either flood out the market and nobody is buying those things on your server. So use your head, do your research. Some guild guides, they'll have you farming for a specific item for hours on end and then basically flooding the market with that item. Don't do that. Again, do your research and sell smaller stacks of items and only a few at a time, and don't just farm one item. Find several items to put up for sale. You gotta diversify. Some days, some items will do better than others. If you're selling a bunch of different items, you have a better chance of making more gil than only selling one item and flooding out the market. Sometimes you strike it rich by getting lucky. In one video I did, I found some high ticket items in a map run and sold them for around 3 million gil. I got lucky and I struck it rich. If it happens to you, fantastic, but don't count on it and don't expect it. It's very rare that you get that lucky. A lot of guild guides also expect players to be max level crafters or level 70 in general. I don't so much. I try to keep my guides to level 50 and below because that's where the majority of players are at that are looking up these guild guides, and that's where a lot of them are as far as crafting and gathering. This helps show that you don't really need to be the highest level to start making decent gil, though for things like map runs you really should be at level 70 to get the most profit out of them. They are the most profitable at this moment. But yeah, making gil is easy. If I can do it, anyone can really do it. However, you gotta watch out for anyone telling you about, one easy trick or do this one thing, because most of the time it might not work out for you. And this goes back to the clickbait videos. You have to put in some effort if you want to make gil, and you have to do your research on what days make the most profit, what's selling well, what's coming up in price, which items are dropping in price. It isn't that hard, but you still have to put in some effort if you want to see a decent return. You gotta do the work, you gotta do your research, but if you do, you're always gonna come out on top. So, hopefully you found this useful, and I didn't make this video to trash talk anyone making gil guides in general. Some of them are genuinely useful, but there are some problems I see with a lot of them. There's a lot on YouTube, and a lot of them are kind of clickbait titles. Focus more on developing good techniques and strategies for making gil, rather than looking for guides that tell you what to sell. Don't look for what to sell, focus on how to sell. Focus on good strategies and good techniques. So I hope you found this useful. In the next video I'm going to be doing some more work. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.